Okay, so our chickens are over here on the other side of this tree line from the cabin. We've got 14 chickens and a rooster, and this is the sound they make. So if you're in a neighborhood and you're considering getting some chickens and you think you're going to be, if you're not zoned for it and you think you're going to be able to do it, this is what they sound like when they lay eggs. So even 4 chickens can make a lot of noise. So make sure that you are zoned for your area if you are in a neighborhood or even in a rural area that has some neighborhood zonings. And they're just laying eggs. There's nothing in the coop. There's no predator there. It's just egg laying time. And sometimes it's real quiet, and sometimes they just, for whatever reason, all join in together. It's like birthing a baby, I guess.
Get help with that?
Sometimes you need it.
Everybody pushes.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. How tall are you?
6 foot.
That's about a foot off the ground. So those are over 6 feet tall. And those are little tomato. No red ones yet. Harvested a lot of tomato worms. So our cucumbers have done really well too. We've actually gotten quite a few cucumbers off, and there's tons more all over. They're just blooming and
all kinds of flowers, little tiny things, and bigger ones.
And those are our potatoes. This is the cucumber plant. One cucumber plant is in here. And I think we've only been able to get 2 or 3 cucumbers off the whole thing. And it's not because this overgrowth just happened in the past couple weeks, but it's like it's just it'll produce little tiny cucumbers, and then they just wither up and go away. And I don't know why that is. But it's not nearly as productive like that little one. That'll probably never get big. That's about as big as they get, and then they just, it's not like they die, or get eaten, they just wither up.
Right.
Here, Mama.
There's the kids' little popcorn patch. They wanted to see if popcorn kernels would grow. Yeah, they did.
Surprised us.
Well, especially since we started so doggone late. All in all, our Charlie Brown garden is respectable. Our beans, they look great, and they've produced some, but they haven't produced enough at any one time to even have a full side dish.
Yeah, still going.
RJ loves to eat them raw. It's probably where they're all going. We found out that's where the raspberries are going. In today's video, I am going to just give some updates of what's been going on around our homestead. I'm also making tortilla shells from scratch because we're making tacos today. And I wanted to just give you a glimpse at that. I'll put the recipe down below this video. In this particular recipe, it is not necessarily considered authentic tortilla shells, because I believe that an authentic tortilla shell is an unleavened bread. And in this particular recipe, I use a leavening agent, which is baking powder. Now, and it does produce, I've had both, and it does produce a totally different thing. It's like it'd be like using baking powder in your pie crust versus a regular pie crust where there is no baking powder. But in this particular recipe, the thing I like about this is when I use the baking powder, I can have them somewhat thick. And I like that at times. I don't always like it. The other thing too is the depth that you roll them. Today I'm rolling them thick. If I were making soup, I would use the baking powder recipe for tortilla shells, and I would roll them thin, and I would cook them on my hot griddle, and it would be more like a cracker. It is so good. I can't tell you how good it is. It is amazing. We have been doing a lot of work around the homestead lately, especially inside, because that is one area that doesn't get the attention it needs. Because when we moved up here 4 years ago, we moved up here to raw land, and most of you know this that have watched us for some time. We moved up into an RV, and we had to clear the land before we could even build our cabin. We also had to work at the same time. Our work being online was movable, so we brought it with us, and we didn't get to take a break. It wasn't one of those stories where, okay, hey, we're going to go off grid, we're going to build our own cabin from scratch, not using modern tools, and we can dedicate our time to that. No, our times had to be divided up between work, which is a reality for most of us, and our family, which is another reality for most of us, and then our homestead comes second. So our primary focus was to get the cabin up. After living in the trailer for several months, we realized that we had to get our cabin up and get it up as soon as possible for sanity's sake. So we did not get to finish our cabin, and we've not gotten to finish our cabin. Doing our cabin the way we have, doing this up here the way we have, not wanting to go into debt, trying to be patient with things getting done as money and time allows, there have been a lot of things that have gone, even small things, don't require a lot of money, but do require time. Such things as that we're doing right now. As many of you know, we had a full-size pantry down south, a complete room for it. It was 7 by 20. And when we moved up here and we had to deal with a lot of space issues, I did not even have a shelf for a pantry. So we ended up bringing up one of our cupboards from down south. The last trip we went down in the summer, and we talked a little bit about that. But that cupboard was built, Ron built that cupboard, oh my goodness, in 2010, and we never finished it as far as painting it. Things got busy, and then we had 2 babies, and we moved up here in 2016. So he is now getting that type of stuff done. He's working on a couple more projects in the cabin that I'm excited about, I'm thrilled about. It's just been time issues, not so much money issues to get these done, but now that we aren't working like we were due to the pandemic, it's a perfect opportunity. We've also had several requests for a new cabin update, and I thought, well, you know what, this will be prime. As soon as he gets his stuff done, we're going to go through and show you what we've got done and what the cabin is looking like. We hope you enjoyed today's video, and we will talk soon. God bless. See how it's bubbled up?